Good evening, Juliana. Good evening, Madam Jessie. It's
Hi,
confirmed.
good
Can you hear me?
evening.
Yes.
Yes, Paul,
Welcome.
good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Hello,
can
Paul,
hear
can you
you.
hear me? All right. Can you see my
Yes, I
screen
can
as
hear you.
well?
Yeah, sure. Very nice. Beautiful school.
All right, thank you.
Let's try to jingle our people to come and follow our beg.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Engineer Chris was here. I don't quite remember. He has left before.
Which engineer, Chris?
Engineer Christopher Egwatu.
Is it too?
Engineer Chris
Oh, really?
Egwatu. Yeah, so it was here. I was even
Okay,
surprised.
okay. Yes. No, I know. Right. That's why. Sorry. But I think it is because I have looked you email, check it, see, I sent you an email. Looking at it, go on that trail with information. You should just go on that trail. So, Julian, I believe you are set. Hello? Juliana, can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello, Paul,
Yes,
please.
I can hear you. I can hear
Yes.
you.
Hello,
I can
hello,
hear you,
team.
sir.
Please, this thing is already live. You
Hello?
can check my chats. It's already live. So whatever you're saying is
Mm.
being recorded. So why not use the chat to discuss, because we have barely 6 minutes to start. So make use
Oh, okay,
of chat
okay.
more than discussion. Whatever you're saying is already on YouTube. Mm.
Oh, okay, okay, oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Paul, please confirm you can hear me. Please, can anyone
Yes,
confirm
of
they can
course.
hear me? All right. Thank you. We'll be starting shortly. You're welcome. Happiness. Just to confirm if you can see my screen. We'll be starting shortly, so please help us share with your friends, your colleagues, your network. We'll be starting in less than 4 minutes, guys. All right.
So, good evening, everyone. So, like, please confirm you can hear me. Juliana, confirm if you
Yes,
can hear me.
yes, I can hear
Oh,
you.
yeah, I can see Engineer Chris back on call. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And welcome to every other person. I believe Juliana has done that already. So, we're starting a few minutes, like Juliana mentioned. So, please, let's just try to reach out to to our colleagues and across all platforms, so we can do as much as we can within the time we have. promises to be very, very impactful. Well done, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. We'll be starting shortly, less than 3 minutes. So just like you said, you can share to your network, tell them we are starting shortly. We also have Temitope Asimi on the call. You are welcome. I see you mean a favor. You are welcome. Thank you for joining in. I can see Jeremiah here is also on the call. You're welcome. We also have one of our senior professionals on the call. He joined in very early. Engineer Christopher Egwatu. He's our award chair for Society of Petroleum Engineers. You are welcome, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome, sir. All right. I don't know who's excited for today's topic, but I am. Our topic is very important today. Harnessing AI for work productivity, strategies for young professionals. Today, it's a fireside chat, and we've all been hearing of AI. I know you have a lot of questions to ask our speaker, and trust me, it will all be answered. Okay, just 2 minutes and we'll be starting. Can help us share to your friends, to your network. We're starting shortly. All right. I guess we can start now. We have 10 participants on the call, and you all are all welcome. We also have on the call one of our senior professionals who just joined us, Mr. Dola Modeni. You are welcome, sir. On the call, we also have Oluwashel Akamu. You are welcome. All right. I have to go ahead. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's career and technical session organized by the Society of Petroleum Engineers, Warri Section 104. My name is Juliana Neka Oj, and I will be your moderator for this amazing session. So before we move on, I would like to welcome on board some of the people that made this program possible. I would like to welcome Dr. Adetuna Oluwaseun, is the section chair for SP Warri Section 104. I would also like to make very welcome Engineer Elvis Duruji, who's the program's chair for the session. And we also have Lucky Emiemie. He's our YP chair, our young professional chair. Also, we have Peter Nelson. He's the co-YP chair for the session. Well, it's really exciting to have everyone, be it young professionals. We also have some students on this call. And to you, my amazing audience, thank you for joining in. This session promises to be very exciting. Our topic today, harnessing AI for work productivity, strategies for young professionals. It's an exciting topic because we know we are in an era where artificial intelligence is redefining how we work, think, and create. So today's session is not just all about learning how, it's not just all about learning, it's how to harness that power, how for us to work harder, but to not for us to work harder, but to work smarter and more efficiently in our various roles. So I would like all of us to relax and engage fully because this is not like our normal session. This is a fireside chat and engage in this practical conversation. Once again, you are very welcome. So for this event, we have a huge lineup for you, for us. The moderators welcome, which I just did. And after that, we'll be taking our safety brief. We'll be having the opening remark for one of our senior professionals of the session, Mr. Dola Modini. Would introduce our guest speaker, the person of Oluwase Olaitor, and would have a little SPE awareness, would want to see your beautiful faces, your handsome faces, want to take a photo, we'll present the certificates to our speaker, and I will be taking an announcement. And after that, we'll be having the final closing remark by one of our YP, Francis Achinike. All right, so sit tight because this promises to be a very exciting session. Okay, so moving on, even though we are online, safety still comes first, be both physically, both digitally. And to take us through the safety brief, I would like to hand over to Favor Mine. She's a young professional from the Society of Petroleum Engineers, Warri Section 104. Favor Mine, please, if you're on the call, kindly unmute and go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Please let's listen to the following safety precautions. Mute your mic when not speaking. Use the raise hand button when you want to speak. Use the button C for comments, Q for questions. Also, ensure you can still hear the fire alarm with your headset on. Be alert and aware of your environment. Also, do well to maintain a good sitting posture. The icon is clearly stated on the screen. And remember to always stay safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Favor, for that amazing safety brief. Indeed, we cannot overemphasize the importance of safety. Please confirm you can still hear me. Please confirm you can still hear me. Can anyone just confirm they can see
Yes,
me?
you can. Loud and clear.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. We cannot overemphasize the importance of safety. All right. Moving on, I would like to call on one of our very own. He's one of our senior members of the session. Mr. Dolapo Odeni is the publicity chair for SP World Session 104. So help us with the opening remarks. Sir, please, if you're on the call, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Juliana. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Okay, excellent. Good evening, everyone, once again, and I'd like to welcome you to this um, lecture. And on behalf of the section chair and the programs chair, I would like to say that you guys should have a very enlightening and educating section. The topic for today is quite interesting, and the reason being that AI has taken over virtually every aspect of human life, from driverless cars to telemedicine, and to drilling wells remotely, analyzing data, and making quick decisions with the help of AI. It's no, there's no under emphasizing, over emphasizing the impact of AI in our work life and personal life. I'm sure a lot of us have a couple of things. And simple tools like the MS Office, the Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and all of that. They're all AI has come to stay. And I think for us as young professionals, it's important that we look at how to harness AI for our own productivity at work, and not to make us redundant and not to think per se, but to help us reach a maximum quite interesting. And having a professional teach is also very exciting. So I would just employ all of us to listen with rapt attention and see how you can learn from the presenter. Thank you once again for having me on the call, and I wish you a very good deliberation today. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Juliana, thanks so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dela, for setting the tune for such a wonderful discussion. Indeed, we cannot overemphasize the importance of AI and work. There's also a scare that AI could take our place. So this discussion today is an all-important topic. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful opening remark. Okay, so moving on, we would like to take a little icebreaker session. I just want to know, also we have some very important persons on the call. We have William Okon, one of our YP from the session is on the call. You are welcome. We also have Belima Taylor on the call. You are welcome. It's also good to mention that we have Malia Sunday on the call. He's one of our YP. You all are welcome. Please, you can still share this to your network. Our speaker would join us shortly, and this promises to be a very exciting session. Okay, so quick one.
Sorry, Juliana.
Okay.
Juliana.
All right, go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
the speaker is in already. So the speaker is in already. So we can just go as planned. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so that even makes it more interesting. I just heard word that speaker has joined us, and it's such a pleasure. This is one of my favorite parts of this session, this program, for us to meet our speaker in the person of Mr. Oroluwa Olaitwa. He's an AI entrepreneur. So please, if you're on the call, please just say hi to us.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thanks for having me here.
Okay, good evening, sir. It's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to have you join us here today. Okay, so before we go dive into for this fireside chat, I would like for us to meet our esteemed speaker today, the person of Mr. Oroluwa Olaito. He's an AI entrepreneur, an expert shaping the future of intelligence across Africa. At the intersection of technology and emerging markets, he builds ventures that apply AI to solve real-world challenges at scale. He leads applied AI at AI in Nigeria, where his team turns cutting-edge research into deployable solutions for industries and communities. Previously, he co-founded Lido Food, a leading AI-powered food and lifestyle platform, and Enif, a venture that helps businesses move AI from concept to production. Together, serving tens of thousands of users across Africa. As a technical operator, he has led cross-border data teams at fintechs and corporates in Nigeria, Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia, driving innovation in credit risk modeling, debit recovery automation, and algorithmic optimization. He holds an MBA from the Asia School of Business in collaboration with MIT Sloan and speaks frequently on building responsible, inclusive AI for frontier markets. His SPE paper, Real-Time Reservoir Modeling and Optimization Framework for Enhanced Hydrocarbon Recovery in the Niger Delta Basin, presented at the SPE NICE 25,
Sorry,
2025.
Juliana. Sorry, I
Okay,
think there
go
must
ahead.
have been a mix-up in the slide. The later part of the profile is not the speakers. That was an oversight, so we can just take it from there. All right.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Okay, it's so much pleasure. Join me welcome as I welcome our speaker for today, Mr. Roluwa Olaitwa. Please, if you're on the call, say hello to us.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, it's such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you also for the very warm introduction.
It's such a pleasure, sir. It's such a pleasure, sir. All right. So before we go ahead, I want this to be very interactive as much as possible. Okay. So and also to my audience, I want you to know I'm vastly underprepared for this fireside chat. I just have a few questions. So I'm going to need your help, my amazing audience, to help me ask the really smart questions. Okay. Okay. All right. So, but before we dive into the technical side, I would like to hear from you, Mr. Oroluwa. How did your journey with AI begin, and what sparked your interest in using it to improve work productivity?
Thank you very much. I think that's a very interesting question. Again, thank you for having me here today. Uh, what, um, how did my journey in artificial intelligence start? Uh, to be honest, I don't really think I set out to pursue a career in artificial intelligence. My background actually was in data. I started with data analytics and data science. But then, if you're familiar with artificial intelligence, you understand that there's a bit of a parallel, between data and AI. Data is actually the foundation of AI. And because I had a background already with data analytics and data science, it was very easy for me to pivot into artificial intelligence. And I think my interest started, first of all, from intrigue. It was sometime, I think, in the last quarter of 2022, I mean, prior to then, I'd worked on a couple of AI solutions. I'd built a couple of automations at my previous employment. But this specific incident, it was when GPT, the first one, ChatGPT, was released in the last quarter of 2022. And I remember one of my professors then during my MBA sharing the solution with me. And when we tried it out in class, we were blown away. And that was the earliest version of it. We're blown away. And then my obsession just became how to make the most of this technology, how to drive this technology, how to integrate it into as many facets of life as possible. And I think I'd say that was how my journey in artificial intelligence began.
Okay, that's a very good one. Thank you, Mr. Oroluwa. That's a very good one. And it's so interesting and inspiring to see that you didn't even start as an AI entrepreneur, but it's something you picked up along the way. And it's also good to know that it just started a few years ago and where you are, it's so huge. And so this leads me to the next question. So and this question says, what how do you think AI can help us with task prioritization and time management? Seeing all you've done, how do you think that AI can help us with task prioritization and time management?
If it's okay, I think I'd like to begin with explaining what the technology itself is. I believe setting this
Okay.
context would help us in terms of how we engage with the technology.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence, like the name suggests, is artificial human intelligence. A few years back, or several years back, actually, scientists observed that the most powerful processing device that exists is actually the human brain. And they thought that if we're able to replicate the functioning, the processing of the human brain in a different system, in a computer system, then the opportunities for this will be limitless. And
Okay.
so, what are the main characteristics or functions of the human brain? First of all, the human brain is a data collection center. It collects data. The second is that it's a data processing center. Our brain continuously processes data. And the third is that it's a decision making system. So the brain, based on the data, can make inferences and make decisions. And this is the same thing that artificial intelligence does. Artificial intelligence draws from data, a lot of data. It's processed with its algorithms and then used to make decisions. And so, at the final state or the most advanced state, you would find that artificial intelligence should be able to replicate the way humans reason um, precisely, or even supersede how humans reason because of the sheer volume of data available. Which means that for the large language models that exist, and when I say large language models, I'm referring to your ChatGPT, your Claude, Gemini, and the likes, they contain so much data, much more than each individual or combined, all the individuals on this call, including myself combined, have. And what that helps is that it has more insight into things than you do, right? And you can start to think of it like a super assistant, a special assistant, an executive assistant that you can collaborate with, form a synergy with to become more productive. And so when it comes to prioritization, I think one of the quick things that I do is I have this, many of the large language models like ChatGPT and Claude, they have a large context window. I think the context window is about 1 million, right? So you can easily build a history of your work and provide some context along your work, your core responsibilities, and what you do. And when new tasks come in, you can always feed these models with the data to tell you how to prioritize the task and which ones to start with and which ones should move later. It's very important because I believe this is I believe this is focused on, if I'm correct, young professionals, right? The context is set
Yes.
on young professionals, and young professionals have ambitions and goals to advance in their career. And one of the things that separates young professionals with like executive leadership is executive functioning, as the name suggests, the ability to prioritize properly, the ability to focus on the right things, to drive results by focusing on the right things. And it's a level of thinking or execution that is required at the very apex of every single career. And that's one of the ways AI can help, by being able to provide the data and having it prioritize and sort out the tasks for you based on priority.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. You just said that you can use AI for task prioritization. So this leads me to a very important question. People are scared that AI could come and take their jobs, right? So this is one of the scare. So would like to know what strategies can professionals use to navigate potential job displacement due to AI? And what are the resources that we can equip ourselves with?
I would like to come here and say that AI is not going to take away jobs, but then I'll be lying. And I know, like, I do not lie. I like to be very honest. So yes, AI is not going to. It's already taking away jobs. Just as recent as 2 days ago, there was a news about 600 people that just lost their jobs at Meta. This is following thousands of job cuts that have happened since the start of the year. So AI is taking away jobs. It's the reality of it. But there's something that I always say, and it's that AI will not take away your job. It's someone using AI that will take away your job. And the reason is if you understand how artificial intelligence works, automation usually excels for tasks that are repetitive. So if the work you do revolves around the same thing, the same processes every single time, say for example, your work is to generate a report generation can be automated. Your work is to generate memos or do this, that can be automated. You work in customer service where your work is to send emails to customers, that can be automated, right? So a number of these tasks that are repetitive in nature are easy and prone to automation. There's actually a website you can go to see how at risk you are based on the job you're doing. It's called There's an AI for this. If you go on the website, you see a list of jobs and how prone they are to being automated by artificial intelligence. So that's the reality. AI is going to take away jobs. Or how do we improve ourselves and position ourselves to ensure that our value is increasing and we're not one of those whose jobs will be automated? I think one key thing is to understand the technology. And I think it's one of the reasons why we're having this conversation. AI literacy, data literacy is extremely important. And the second thing is to continue to upskill and learn. Learning is a continuous process. One of the key things you probably would need when you're engaging with large language models these days is prompt engineering. And I'm sure in a way or form you've heard about prompt engineering, but there is a difference between the one we do where you use a zero-shot prompt on ChatGPT to ask a question or try a process, to the one where you actually understand the content or the depth of prompt engineering and you're actually able to get the most out of these tools. I would always say that the problem has never been about information availability. It's always been about information synthesis. Every single thing we find in the large language models that exist today existed on the internet before now. The difference is that we've been able to draw all this data together, train models on them, and now we have them accessible on our device, a wealth and depth of knowledge accessible at our fingertip. So the solution is not really in the problem has never really been about how powerful the technology is, but in the people that the technology is coming to change. And so the final thing, in addition to the two things that I've mentioned previously, I would say is critical thinking, because even when information is available, we still require critical thinking to be able to synthesize and get the right data or information that we need to get the results we require. So critical thinking, a technical skill like prompt engineering, and continuous learning and improvement, I believe, are important to ensuring that you are not one of those that will be affected by the wave of automation that is coming and is already happening around us.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Well said. Indeed, critical thinking. No one can help you think, think for yourself, and that's one thing that they really teach outside this country, and as well as the technical skills. Okay. That being said, we would like to know the app. You mentioned something about the app where we can check to know if your role is being at the verge of if your role is being at the verge of being taken away by AI. So we'd like to know the name of this app so that maybe we can
It,
check for
it's
ourselves.
a
Yes.
it's a it's a website actually.
A
It's
website,
called
yes.
There's an AI for this, yes, and I'm dropping it on the group chat right now so everyone can access
Okay.
it. It
Okay.
offers two things. The first is that for every, I don't know if you're familiar, but there are AI tools that help you create presentations. So you want to put together a
Yes.
presentation slide. There
Gamma
are
like
AIs
Gamma.
that can help you exactly like Gamma. You have AI tools for data analytics. You have AI tools for text generation, for content writing, for copywriting, for any of those things. All these tools have been put together on this website called There's an AI for this. So for any specific tool you need, you can go easily and check. And every day, hundreds of new tools are coming out that have been updated. And the second thing that you find on the website is a list of jobs. There's a database of different roles, and then there's a rating for how prone they are to being automated. So we can find this information on the website.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, even if we don't get anything today, that website is sure a wealth of knowledge that we can always go back to. Okay, so I would like to ask, what are some key indicators that a profession or will I say an industry is likely to be heavily impacted by AI?
That's a very interesting question. Because that's not only on a micro level, it's also on a macro level. What I would say is that um, which is interesting. It's the reverse, right? The reverse is that a number of tasks that well, one of the key things is the nature of the industry, the way the industry is set up. And I remember having a conversation with my friend Paul, I think a week or two ago. We're just talking about oil and gas industry. I just read a report from MIT about how at risk different industries are to the AI transformation happening. And interestingly, oil and gas is one of the least. Okay, so the impact
Okay.
on the impact of AI on oil and gas is not as significant as you have in like software or you have in like financial services and banking. But this would probably be to because of how the process is, you have upstream, you have downstream, you have any of these things, you have drilling, it's very hands-on, it's very um partly, operation of machineries and all of that. So you still need people to sort of manage that process and oversee the process. And so it's at this point it's difficult to automate all those processes away. But I'll say don't be deceived by the safety of the industry and not improve yourself, because the fact that the industry is safe does not mean the individual or your job role is safe. AI transformation is on two levels. There's the industry level transformation and there's the individual level transformation. The job market is always competitive and everybody is always out there to have somebody else's lunch, right? So even though AI might not be transforming a lot of things on the industry level at the moment, it doesn't mean it's not changing a lot in how the job is being done. So we as professionals still need to ensure that we are upskilling and developing, because the competition is there, the market is there. While you are not upskilling, someone else is upskilling and trying to get your job. You're pursuing the same opportunity with someone who has improved and advanced themselves. You best believe that the person who is more advanced in terms of like skill development, ability to use these AI tools will get the opportunity before you. So yes, the industry
Okay.
might not be experiencing like a radical change or radical transformation. There's still a number of things like IoTs, sensors, and all of that that AI is doing, but it's not as radical as you have in some other industries. But this doesn't stop us as individuals to develop ourselves and increase our competitive advantage.
Okay. All right. So that leads me to the next question. Very important. You've talked about us upskilling, right, which is very important. So what new skills do you think would be required to work effectively with AI system? What new skills as would you advise us to learn as young professionals?
I'd mentioned these two before, and I'll just reiterate it again.
Okay.
The first is prompt engineering. What's a
Okay.
prompt? I think we're mostly all prompt engineers. If you've used
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT before, if you've used Claude, if you've used Gemini or Meta AI, you've already prompted it. Prompt is just a set of instruction that is given to a large language model. That's what a prompt is. But the basic level is a zero-shot prompt that most of us do, where we ask questions, we ask requests. But many a times we see that when we ask things, we are frustrated because we're not getting the results that we want from the model. And that's because our prompt is not precise enough. So there's an art and science to prompt engineering. And that's one of the key things that I'd recommend that we learn how to prompt systems. There are a number of free resources on YouTube, free resources on like Coursera and the likes on prompt engineering that I would recommend that we watch and learn how to write prompt. The second is critical thinking. And I'm emphasizing critical thinking because most times people would say that they have critical thinking skills. Everybody has it. You go to a job interview, you say, do you have a, they say, oh, I have critical thinking skills. It's on every resume. But in reality, not everybody shows critical thinking. But in a lot of ways, critical thinking skills are going to be in more demand, especially in the age of AI, especially in the age of AI. As I was coming back from the airport and just thinking ahead of this session, I thought of the best way to explain how important critical thinking is to everyone. Imagine the fastest runner in the world. Like there's nobody that's faster than this person. Is faster than Usain Bolt. He's like Flash. You know, what would take the second fastest person? He probably beats the person's speed by like 5 or 10 times. So that's how fast this person is. But the person is blind. What happens? The person would run quickly in the wrong direction. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Unless there is a way to guide the person in the direction to go. Most of the AI tools that we have today are extremely powerful. Most of these models are trained on the entire internet's worth of knowledge. They contain so much knowledge, much more than the basic things that we ask it. But critical thinking is now being able to synthesize the information that is contained within these models to get the right information we need, to get the right direction we need, to know how to collaborate with these tools in such a way that it delivers the results we're looking for. And that's why critical thinking is important. So it goes beyond just saying on the resume that I have critical thinking things, but like putting it in practice with like systems thinking and so many other things. So again, it comes back to prompt engineering, number one, critical thinking, number two. Maybe another
Okay.
thing that I would add is emotional intelligence. Um, I during my MBA, there's this concept that we used to share of smart and sharp skills. Sharp skills refer to technical skills, and smart skills refer to what we call soft skills. Stakeholder management, communication, and all these things. One of the things, or one of the some things that AI doesn't currently have are those similarly or so-called soft skills: communication, empathy, emotional intelligence, and so many other things. And as young professionals looking to rise in our career, you come to realize that the longer you work, you come to realize that the job is easy, the people are not. At a certain point in your career, 90% of your job will be managing people. The job will be like just 10%. Most of it will be managing people. And it's very important to also develop these skills in terms of managing people, communication, stakeholder management, managing up to ensure that, we're also preparing ourselves for the future uh, in a technology-driven world.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So much said already. Indeed. So before we go on, I would like to employ on the audience. If you have any question to ask him as we move along, please kindly drop it on the chat box. Right? Okay. So I have another question for you, sir. And this is you made a mention on how AI could cause disparity, and how do you address concerns around AI bias and fairness in productivity applications, seeing that I don't have the soft skills that you mentioned?
Thank you. I think that's a very interesting question. And it boils down to what I always say about the right application of AI. AI should be used as an assistant, not a replacement. AI should not replace the human. It should work with the human. You should use artificial intelligence to supercharge your work and supercharge your productivity and how you go about work. Um, Bias is a big issue in AI. As you read in the introduction, you see that I'm very heavy on responsible and ethical artificial intelligence. And this is because I've seen what impact models that do not have these guardrails in place would have on the society. And the main bias mostly comes from two sources. Bias can come from nature, which is it has to do with algorithms when it comes to AI, and nurture, which is the data. Most times, bias from nature can be easily detected from the algorithm. You can easily view the algorithm and detect bias. But the main problem comes from data, which is nurture. Unfortunately, we do not have a data culture in Africa, Nigeria. We don't collect data properly. We don't store data properly. And when these models were being trained, they didn't have enough data about us to ensure that our viewpoints or our views, and way and approaches to things are accounted for within the models. So yes, we're always going to deal with bias. There's not a single LLM that exists today that doesn't have a bias. But that's why you don't do garbage in, garbage out. There's a concept in AI of a human in the loop. It's called human in the loop. And human in the loop is that for every single AI output, there is a human that is reviewing that output before it is deployed. There's a human who is reviewing that output before it is shared. So in practice, that looks like you say you want to use AI to generate a document. It generates a document. Will you cross-check and review that document before you send it out? Some people have absolutely outsourced thinking and all their work to LLMs. And so any output AI gives them, they don't read it again. They just copy and paste. But that's not the right way to go about it. Always ensure that there's a human in the loop to review, because that's the only way you'll be able to detect the biases and the issues that you just raised.
Okay, well said. Well said. Indeed, it still boils down to the critical thinking that you spoke on earlier. Okay. So I saw one of your posts that was posted on Instagram by Business Nigeria, where you said some people are still opposed to the use of AI. We should understand the path of workflows AI is sustainable for. Then we should pilot and move fast. The rate of change of AI is incredible. Before you build and scale, start small so you don't deploy what is not mature enough. So I want to ask, this is leading into my next question. So how do we start small, right? How do we start small in using this AI? What are the little ways that we can incorporate this?
So a very easy guide that I would give is that um, when I spoke, I think that was at the Business Day AI Summit sometime last month. The question was more of a was focused on the organizational level. And again, I'll keep emphasizing that people are always too focused on the macro level, the organizational level, and they ignore the micro level, the individual transformation and productivity. So how do you start small as an individual using AI, right? I'll give you a simple test that I can actually do after now.
Okay.
Take a pen and paper or type it out and write out the top 5 things that take your time the most at work. Take, for example, one of the things that takes my time the most is this report that I send every Monday. Okay. 2 is so. 3 is communication with clients. 4 is write the top 5 things that take your time the most. Take a picture of this and put on Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini and tell it these are the things that take my time at most at work. What simple automations can I put in place to simplify this process? You'll be amazed at the suggestions and recommendations it's going to give to you. That's a very simple way. That's a very simple way to simplify the work that you do personally. And then there's the level of now building systems in place or tools or algorithms that can automate bigger parts of your workflow. But it's always best to start small and test small before scaling up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Well said. Well said. Indeed, even if we're not getting anything for today, you've dropped for us a website where we can check up anything we want. And you've also emphasized the need for us to include critical thinking, technical improvement, using AI. All right, let me move to our chat box to see if any of our audience have any question for you before we go ahead. Okay. Okay, so while we are waiting for their questions, I would also like to ask, what soft skills you've talked about us learning some of the soft skills, prompt engineering and the rest. What soft skills are most valuable in an AI-driven workforce? And how can professionals like us develop them? Right? We just don't want to go and be learning everything, right? We want to start small and we want to know how can we start.
Thank you very much. That's another interesting question. Just to correct, prompt engineering is a soft skill. It's a hard skill to be technical. And then yeah,
Okay.
there's the technical side to it. So it's not
Okay.
really a soft skill. It's a hard skill. So that's that. But for soft skills, I don't like calling them soft skills because I spent 2 years of my MBA being taught that they are smart skills, not soft skills. Because if you think of it, those seemingly, in quotes, soft skills are actually the hardest to develop, and they are what's missing the most in the workforce today. So they are not soft because if they were soft, they would be very accessible to everybody. It's hard. It's hard. It's a different kind of hard. So I prefer to call them smart skills, but I'll give you two. The first is communication. 90%, maybe no, okay. So I'm a data person, so I should be factual in my numbers. I would estimate that over 60% of breakdown in communication or breakdown of work in both or breakdown of relationships is due to poor communication. And this is for both personal and professional relationships. 60 to 70% of the breakdown is due to poor communication. And so if you're able to develop proper communication skills uh, to by managing up, I mean managing your superiors. You have people you report to. How do you communicate with your superiors? Okay, that's one. The second is managing down. And managing down in this sense is if you find yourself in a leadership position where you're leading a team of people, how do you communicate with them? How do you handle them? So communication is a very important soft skill or smart skill to develop. And the way to go about this is practice makes perfect. You have to read more on communication, you have to practice communication, and then you get better at it. The second important thing that I'll pull out from my own playbook is empathy. And that's surprising because empathy is not usually the highest on people's scale of important skills to develop. It's usually at the bottom. It's hard for you to find a lot of organizations where you really find empathy. But that's the difference between good places to work or good people to work with and toxic people to work with. The ability to show empathy. Just realizing that in your workplace is diverse and every single person you are working with has their own backgrounds, their own experiences, their own difficulties, and things that have shaped their way of working and their view of the world. And being able to empathize with them and put yourself in their situation to understand where they are coming from helps you to offer some support. Like you read in my introduction, I've co-founded three startups. I've been a startup founder. And if anybody has ever worked in a startup, you know how difficult it is. Everybody's working, going above and beyond. Between October, between September last year and December, I was working every single day of the week, including Saturdays and Sundays. I would go to church on my way back from church. I go straight to the office and I will work till late night. I'm there again early Monday morning and working. And as I'm working, I'm demanding the same of my team, and every single person was working. It's very easy for such a culture to descend into toxicity if there's no empathy. But my employees see me, they see that when they're tired, I feel the tiredness. When they're frustrated, I feel it. I show my emotions out there and I empathize with them when they are going through something difficult. It allows them to feel safe in that work environment and be able to bring their all every single point in time. But in most Nigerian organizations, empathy is missing today. But I'm hoping, as for those of us on this call, as we evolve and develop into leadership positions, we will not throw away empathy because that's something that is very important, but that is missing significantly in our workforce today.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, leaders should be empathetic. It's something models, robots can't give you. It's something AI models can't give you. It's more like garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so we have a question for one of our audience to you, sir. And it's from Wasil Mohammed. He says, sir, what's the difference between data analysis and data science?
Well, that's an interesting question. So for data analysis, they're not too far apart, to be honest. They're not too far apart, but data science goes a step further than data analysis. So data analysis has to do with you get a set of data and then you want to find insights from that data. The sole purpose of data analysis is insight. You have a pile of data. What is that data communicating? And then when you've done your analysis with whatever tools that you're done, you provide a presentation on it and you storytell to explain the insight that you derive from the analysis. Okay. But for science, in science, that's where you have to do with training models and developing models for forecasting. So data science is saying from all the data that we have so far and we have analyzed, what inferences can we make from that data for the future? And that's the birthplace of artificial intelligence because it starts with first training models to be able to learn, to be able to predict, to be able to give insight. And then it goes from there to now being able to build intelligent models or systems that can, from the data that exists, make inferences for the future. So data analysis is one part. You can think of data science as advanced analytics that goes beyond just analyzing data, but training models to be able to make inferences from data.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for answering that question. And Wasil, I'm sure that he has done justice to that. Okay. So, but if you still have any more questions, kindly drop it on our chat box. Okay. I have another question. You've talked on the importance of us learning, having to learn a lot. So, but how can we commit to lifelong learning, right? Is it enough for us to just learn the smart skills, like you said, the prompt engineering? But how do we commit to lifelong learning and stay up to date with the latest AI developments? So for some people, it's not so easy to keep learning, but how do we do this?
You give me a minute, and there's this interesting quote that I want to find.
Okay. So please, if you have questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box.
So I'll read the quote shortly. I'm sorry I'm going to sound a bit philosophical, but that's the reality. There are two kinds of motivation. There's intrinsic motivation and there's extrinsic motivation. As the name suggests, extrinsic has to do with motivation that is coming from external factors. For example, you're scared of losing your job, and because you're scared of losing your job, you're motivated to learn so you don't lose your job. But intrinsic motivation is a kind of motivation that is anchored on something deep within you. And when it comes to learning, it's been proven statistically that intrinsic motivation is more powerful than extrinsic motivation. There are scientific papers on the fact that intrinsic motivation is more powerful than extrinsic motivation. And what I'm trying to say is that there's only up to a point where the fear of losing your job or the fear of AI taking away your job or all these things will be able to motivate you to. You have to find something deep within you. You need to find something deep inside you that will make you continue to learn. It could be tied to a higher purpose within you. For me, it's tied to the fact that I know that I'm capable of doing so much and I will not stop or I won't stop learning and developing myself until I see this potential fulfilled. And that's driven me from the start of my career to where I am today, and it continues to drive me through different technologies that I've had to learn, like data analytics and data science and data and now artificial intelligence. None of these things have been easy or walks in the park, but because I know why I was doing it, I was able to continue to learn. And I would recommend that motivation for all of us is intrinsic. That's one key way to become lifelong learners. To the quote that I was talking about, it says, if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. That's a quote from Zig Ziglar. And it just speaks to this idea that when it comes to learning, you have to decide within yourself that you want to become a lifelong student. You want to continue to learn. And it's not AI that would force you to become that. You might do it for a month or two, you will stop. There has to be your desire to continue learning has to be anchored on something deeper within. And that's what I mean when I talk about intrinsic motivation.
Okay. Thank you very much, Zaya. This shows the importance of passion when we are doing anything. It's always said that when you follow your passion, you can even reach the stars if you want to. Okay. So, like you said when you started, it has not been an easy walk in the park. So, would like to learn from you. A wise man would always say that it's good to learn from the mistakes of others or from the words of wisdom of others. So, what would you say? What common mistakes do people make when trying to use AI for productivity, and how can they avoid them? You that started your own AI enterprise, what do you say are the lessons, the biggest lessons that you've learned, and how do we avoid them?
Honestly, I would say that AI for personal productivity is very different from AI for personal productivity. Because I can share with you a number of mistakes and hard lessons that we had to learn while building out AI startups. But those are not applicable here because, the challenges that startups or companies face is very different from individuals. What are common mistakes that people learn, that people make? I'll sound like a broken record by saying this again, but it's still that point around critical thinking. The fact that people think because they can now ask LLMs questions and it can just give them everything they need, they don't have to do the mental labor of analyzing and synthesizing information anymore. What then happens is that people become entirely reliant on LLMs. I have this fear. Sorry for sounding, if I'm sounding like conspiracy theorist, but I have this fear. There's this concept in science where everybody talks about the singularity. For me, I believe that AI could potentially be how we arrive at a singularity, but it won't be in the way that most people think. Did you know that if you use ChatGPT every day, you use ChatGPT to write and it refines your text for you, over time, you would start thinking or you would start writing and typing like ChatGPT, yes or no?
True, very true. And it
You
understands you
start
too.
to Yeah, it understands you, but you understand it too. It's like this thing they say about couples that after some time, couples start to look like each other because you interact
Yes,
with it every day. Your system of writing and processing is becoming very similar with the model. Now, that's
yes.
not only happening for you, it's happening for every single person using this tool. And at a point, it would all be drawing from one single idea source. Why? Because we stopped thinking for ourselves. Critical thinking, specifically systems thinking, is one common pitfall. When people start thinking and just start relying on the LLMs for everything. I had a funny incident that happened a while ago. My tailor and I broke up. Um, he did something and I was so upset that I told him that, look, this is the end of this relationship. You're not making clothes for me anymore. I wish you the best in the future. And he was trying to apologize to me, but there was no authenticity in the apology. He just put my text and put it on AI, and the result came back from AI. It
I
upset me
knew.
more than when he didn't even acknowledge it because what he just told me by that is that I'm not even important enough for him to type a proper apology and refine it. So, in case you know any tailor around, I'm still shopping for a new tailor. We broke up like 2 months ago. I'm still recovering from the breakup, but if you have a tailor, please recommend. But I couldn't take it because like he could not put in the efforts to write a proper apology and process it accordingly. And what happened is just because he got too lazy and got too comfortable and left. See, don't be deceived by all this talk. We're saying AI is powerful, AI is this, AI is that. Every single human that exists still wants genuine human connection, still wants authenticity. So when I talked about like soft skills and empathy and communication and all these things, people are still looking for this genuineness. They're still looking for this originality in interactions. So don't automate everything away and AI everything away and lose your personal human touch. Don't automate everything away and use AI for everything and lose that part of critical thinking. Ensure that at every point in time you're still in the driving seat and you're not leaving AI to drive to sail the ship.
Indeed, indeed, well said, sir. Authenticity, it's the key. No one can replace that for anyone. Okay, but that breakup was so harsh. That breakup was so harsh. I don't know. Okay, so
Yeah,
in case you're a teller,
Juliana.
kindly pitch. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm really, really enjoying this session, and I believe you are too. I believe everyone else is. Yeah, just because of our speaker schedules, I will try to round up on our question so that we can move on to other parts of the program
The
before we
program.
put our stuff. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I think we'll have to do
Okay.
probably we'll have to do a part two of this because it feels
Okay.
unending. Well done. Yeah, thank
Okay. All right. Thank you. I just have a last question for the future, right? What trends do you see shaping the future of AI in the workplace, say in the next 5 to 10 years? This is the last question.
Thank you very much for that. But before I answer your question, thank you so much, Paul. I do have a hard stop at 6, but I see that Wasiu just typed a question in the chat. So
Yes.
I'll end this session by responding to Wasiu's question, taking yours, and then just closing out there. So his question is it advisable for beginners to start using AI for learning tech? That's a very interesting question. Um, my response to it would be that if you're writing a prompt now on ChatGPT, okay, if your English is imperfect, it still understands you, right? When you make typos,
Yes, it does.
it does, right? It still give you a response.
Yes.
But
True.
how much better is it when you type in and structure your English properly when you're giving it the instruction? The result is
It's
much
it's
better. It's
better. Yes.
much
When
better.
you direct.
It's much better. So using ChatGPT is not dependent on having perfect English, right? But having
Yes.
good diction and having good writing skills does improve the output you get from ChatGPT. That's how I see the relationship
Mhm.
between AI and tech. You can use AI to learn tech. Yes, it's good, but it's still important for you to understand the foundation of it. Because having that foundational knowledge of how things work, the programming languages, so if you are learning Python, you know the principles of it. You're learning C++ plus plus or any of these tools, it's easy to understand how, you know, because I mean, AIs hallucinate. They're not perfect. LLMs hallucinate. Sometimes they'll give you information that is not, you can try it. Ask ChatGPT a
Yes.
question. When it responds, tell it, no, this is wrong, and give it this thing. It will
To
apologize and
apologize.
start saying nonsense, even though it was correct at first,
Yes.
because they hallucinate, right? So you don't want to depend on AI to learn tech entirely. You want to understand the foundation, but AI is a fantastic help when you are learning tech because it can LLM means large language model. That's your chat GPT, Claude, and the others. But it's a fantastic tool that can help you come up to speed and move quicker. So you don't have to be a beginner. What we are saying now is that when you're learning AI, when you're learning tech, and you're learning with AI, right? You're no longer a beginner because even as a beginner, in quotes, you are able to use the LLM to get things done faster, better, and quicker. Remember, these tools have all the knowledge in the world. So if you ask the right question, you get the right information that you need. So what does the future look like with artificial intelligence? See, the end goal, like I said earlier, of artificial intelligence is that it becomes as powerful and even more powerful than we humans. So think of that. AI systems are being developed. There are two states of AI that are being discussed right now. You have AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and then you have ASI, which is artificial super intelligence. There is no agreed upon definition of what both of these things mean, but we know we unanimously agree in some way or form that they mean a state of intelligence where the models become faster and more intelligent than humans themselves, and they are able to create things, innovate things by themselves. And so Satya Nadella, if you know Satya, Satya is the CEO of Microsoft. Sometime I think earlier this year or last year, he said something that what he envisions as the future of artificial intelligence or of Microsoft is that every single human Microsoft employee will be in command of 10 AI employees. One employee leading a team of 10 AI agents. And that's what the future looks like. More than ever, AI is going to become so much more infused in our everyday life. We're already talking about AI agents, for example, that use like MCPs, multiple context protocols, where AI systems are passing instructions to themselves. And these are systems that we've deployed. An instruction comes. A mother AI is telling a junior AI, you do this. It understands it and says, this AI, you do this. And that AI is autonomously performing that action. It's called agentic AI. And that's where the future is going. So you can imagine a world where more of what we do is being infused. And even sectors like oil and gas that I had initially said is not being disrupted yet will increasingly get disrupted. Okay. That's why it's important for us to what? Number one, keep learning, keep upskilling. Number two, develop your critical thinking skills. Develop your critical thinking things. And last but not the least, I talked about developing skills like communication, empathy. These are things that AI can sympathize, but it cannot empathize with you because to empathize, you have to be able to be in the person's shoes, and a machine cannot be in a human's shoes at this point in time. So these seemingly soft skills are things that will continue to be in demand even as the workplace continues to evolve. Thank you very much. I hope I was able to answer your questions and you're able to get a few things from the session we've had today.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you
thank
so
you so much.
much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so moving on, because of time, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. We are so grateful. Please join me and give our speaker a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. I would just want to call up our career and technical lead, Mr. Paul Alabi, to help us present the certificate of appreciation to you, sir. Thank you for your time. Just before you leave us, we'd like to present a small token to you. All right, over to you, Paul.
All right, thank you so much, Juliana. Thank you for the fantastic moderation as well. Yes, and to facilitator, thank you so much for honoring us with your presence and giving us and allowing us draw from your wealth of knowledge and experience. And definitely, we cannot pay you for this service. Technically, so in our own little way, is our way of saying thank you so much. So please accept this as a token of our appreciation and recognizing the worth of your time and the knowledge you shared. So thank you so much. This will be shared with you later. Thank you so much for honoring us. All right, Julian.
Uh,
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Please, if it will not be a bother, would like to take a group photo with you just before we get off the call. Just 1 second. Okay. So we'd just like to, if it okay, the audience, please, this is a very beautiful moment. Would like to see your faces, so please put on your camera. Would like to just take a picture, you know. I would like to see your smiles. Okay, thank you. I can see happiness, Ashley, William Okon, John, Mr. Paul, Alabi, William Okon. All right, so at the sound of SPE, Paul, please, can you help us take the picture? Okay, let
I'm
me just
currently
do
not in a
that.
position I can do that. Can you just go ahead on your end? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, hold on, please. Okay, so if I say solution, people, energy, so take the shot at that. Okay, SPE,
Solutions, people, energy.
solution. Okay, thank you. Let me take another shot quickly. Just hold on, please. Okay, just hold on. Okay, SPE.
Solutions, people, energy.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you to our esteemed speaker. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. Thank you
Thank you
for the
so much for having me.
time. Thank you. It's been such a great pleasure moderating this fireside chat with you. Thank you. Indeed, I'm very sure that we learned more than two things today. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so moving on. Just give me a moment. Let me share our slide back. Okay. Um, Okay, just a moment for us to share the slide. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen. Please, can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Can see.
Okay, okay, all right. So moving on, we have a quick announcement before we wrap up. Okay, from the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SP Session 104 Worry, we're presenting another program, Energy in Slides, bringing structure, life, and clarity to paper presentation. And this will feature a complete systematic guide and hands-on workshop on structuring and designing presentations. This will be taken by Emmanuel Olowe. He's a petroleum engineer at Chevron. And this will be moderated by a YP from the session, Helene Obo. And this is set to take place on Saturday, the 1st of November 2025. It is a virtual event, so you can join us from anywhere that you are. Okay, so before we go, I just want to give a quick SP awareness. I would like us to know what we do here at SPA, right? This is Society of Petroleum Engineers, um, SP Section 104 Worry. So just in case you are not a member, you can become an SPE member today. And when you become a member today, there are lots of amazing benefits that you get to enjoy. You get first-hand internship and career information. You get access to mentorship programs from industry leaders. You also have access to scholarships and trainings. You get access to our vast technical and professional resource library knowledge base. You get to network with industry leaders and professionals. You get to attend a lot of these programs and lots more. I will be dropping the link in the chat box for us to click on it and sign up, and our team would continue from there. All right. But if you're also still a member, I also want to encourage you, thank you, and encourage you to keep up the good work. Okay. So to bring this session to a close, officially, I would like to make welcome Achinike Francis. She's a YP from the Society of Petroleum Engineers Worry to help us with the closing remark. Please, if you're on the call, please go ahead. Kindly unmute and go ahead. Okay. If she's not on the call,
She's actually on call. I think she's trying to speak, but we can't hear her. Ijoma, confirm you
okay.
can hear us. We can't hear you. Her mic is unmuted already.
Okay. All right.
Okay, maybe we'll just go ahead. Probably she's having issues with network. Or I can just take that. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Is that
Sure.
fine? All right. Thank you. So, yeah. So, I want this opportunity to say thank you to everyone for staying on call up till now. Yes. And really, it was actually an insightful session. And the debate on AI and recent talks, and also having the professional demystify some things and give clearer insights on some other aspects we did not necessarily have so much information on. It was quite very helpful, and I'm grateful we had this. And to say thank you to everyone who has been on call or who joined who joined in between. So like Juliana, and I quote, if you're still on call up till now, you're the real MVP. So I want to say thank you and looking forward to having everyone on the next program, which then I mentioned on first and one subsequent program. And I'd like to advise each and every one of us, let's do what we always strive to reach out to others so that everyone can always have a full house of having our sessions so that at least everyone can gain value for the things we do. And at the end of the day, all the planning and all go to waste. Of course, even if it's one person on call, it's not a waste because but adding value to one person is all that matters. Yeah.
we have uh, we have it's going to have an achieved number of persons that gain value at the same time. So thank you everyone, and let's do have a wonderful night first and weekend ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Paula Alabi, the career and technical lead. I just want to thank you and the organizers of this event for all the hard work and for inviting me to moderate. I also want to thank you, the audience. Just like you said, you are the real MVP for staying up till this time. And thank you for the great questions that you asked. And also, I would like to thank our guests for joining us today. So, from me to you, stay safe. I would like you to join our next SP event. And not only should you join, share to your friends to come and share from our wealth of knowledge. So, from me to you, take care and have a wonderful weekend. Good night. William, hey, you delete I wanted to drop. You did not come on time. All right, good night. Bye.